Hello, and welcome to Sports by Compion. My name, of course, is Stephen Compion, and I'm joined here by the Ham Man, the man you need when you want the ham. Don't talk to him about the Super Bowl, but he is here to talk ball nonetheless about other things. He's here because the Hall of Fame class of 2026 was announced right before the Super Bowl, so we want to go ahead and shout out those fellas, welcoming them into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations for them. And we'll also talk about who we think maybe should have been in this class or maybe should at least for sure be in the next class. Is that right, Cooper?
Yep, it's good to be back. It's good to be serving up some ham sandwiches to all my loyal fans again in Compian Nation, and knuckle sandwiches to anybody who brings up, potentially moving Will Campbell to guard next year. But that's a talk for a different day.
So how are we feeling? If you don't mind me prodding the wound a little bit, were you kind of expecting this going into Super Bowl week? Were you? I mean, I'm sure disappointed, but also probably happy. It must be a strange mixture because you guys didn't expect to come this far to begin with, if you think about it.
No, I'm not gonna try to 2020 hindsight this bad boy. I thought we were gonna win. I really liked just going into that game, and I mean the big thing obviously there's a lot of big things, I guess, but Campbell's injury was on display for the entire world to see. I mean, he did not play very well. That's kind of the story of the game for a lot of people. He played well against Denver, well enough that I didn't think he would be that big of an issue. Jared Wilson struggled a bit too. Both of our left side of the O line rookies coming off injuries, they struggled, and Drake May never got in a rhythm. Super Bowls always start slow, so I ingested the copium until about the middle of the third quarter. After like our ninth punt in a row, that's when I was like, all right, this isn't just a slow start. We're actually in big fucking trouble right now. Um,
Took you that long to realize it. That's a real believer right there. Just like, yeah, no, dude, it's gonna be fine. Drake May's
because
got
no one
this.
knows how good Drake May is besides me.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
but
Drake
I
May
don't know.
doesn't even
I
know how
mean,
good he is compared to how well you know he is. He's good.
if you're listening, Drake May, I still love you. But yeah, I mean, I'll put it this way: it was an awful night for me. I mean, I'm not like one of those entitled ass Patriots fans. Like all championships feel the same to me, so that really sucked. But in a different way, that was also the easiest loss to swallow out of the four Super Bowl losses I've witnessed. That was easier to swallow than the two Giants losses and the Eagles loss for sure. So that's
Well,
the
those
one
were
silver
more like
lining.
down to the wire too. Whereas this one, you could see it coming. Like he came and knocked on the door. He's like, "Hey, your team's probably gonna lose the Super Bowl today," and you're like, "Dude, what? That's rude to say. Don't even talk to me." But anyway, all right. All that aside, we
Yeah.
got to
Well,
talk
I
some Hall of
have two
Fame.
other I have two other points now that you got
Oh
me
yeah,
going on this
please
actually.
go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead. We just didn't want to keep the sizzle on the injury, but it's good to talk this out, Cooper. We're here for
No,
you.
because I got some things to say to people in case
Yeah, no,
anybody
yeah.
in
Well, let's
Colombian
hear it.
Nation wants to throw some mud at me. I have two things to say to anybody who wants to throw dirt at the Patriots here. My two ultimate copium, beverages that I'm slurping up. First one is nobody was going to beat the Seahawks this year. They're an all-time team.
Other
So the
than the
Patriots
Bucks,
losing to them does not matter. Yeah, the Bucks were going to beat them, but then the Bucks forgot how to play football like midway
after
through the
that, yeah,
season.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So nobody was beating the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. A and B, all the betters had a bad night because all the touchdown scorers were random ass players like Matt Collins and AJ Barner. I mean, they're not random, but they're not the guys everybody expected. So
Yeah,
I'm
no,
happy
you're
that all the betters had a bad night too. So fuck all of you,
right.
and we'll be back next year. Your shitty
if
ass
you're
teams won't.
if you're going up in flames, you might as well, um, have them go up with you. I love that. I love that mentality.
Yep.
Cooper, you said there was two things you wanted to say. Was there anything else you gotta get off your
Uh,
chest about the Super Bowl?
those were the two things I have in my mind right now.
Okay.
Definitely spike my cortisol levels a little bit
Hey,
later in
you
this
let me know if
conversation.
anything
Maybe
else
I'll think of some
boils.
more.
Yeah, if anything boils up that you feel like sports by combination needs to know about, we're here for you, dude. That's what
Now,
this is all about.
I appreciate it, but at the end of the day, we got our ass beat bad, so I'm just gonna zip it up for now.
Tough
I
times,
got it
tough
out of my
times.
system. Yeah.
Sammy Darnold's a real one, apparently. Well, instead, let's talk about the class of 2026, which has Drew Brees, the ultimate buck killer. It's probably the reason I hate the Saints. First ballot Hall of Famer, good for him. Roger Craig did not have nearly as much luck. He's been eligible for about, 28 years, I think it is. He's definitely the senior of this class. Yeah, 28 years. I was right. He's the senior of this class. He does get in this time, though. Larry Fitzgerald is another first ballot Hall of Famer. Luke Kuechly, second ballot. It took him two, but not long either. And Anna Vinatieri is also two. I only bring up the eligibility theme because apparently it is a big deal to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and we have two in this class with Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald. Both of them, I think, justified. How do you feel about that, Coop?
Yeah, definitely agreed on that. Those are two easy choices for first ballot, as exclusive as that is. And I also want to say that um, Luke Kuechly, I thought really should have been first ballot last year, but what kind of happened was so the writers vote on it, and you're supposed to get 80% of the votes to get in the Hall of Fame. And Vinatieri and Kuechly kind of stole each other's votes last year. That's why only 4 players got in instead of 5. Normally it's 5, but so Luke Kuechly and Vinatieri both got really close to making the Hall of Fame last year, but both of them fell just short. So
Huh.
I thought they both kind of got robbed in a way. As much as I love Vinatieri as a Patriots fan, I would give the nod to Kuechly over him if I had to, choose. But mm, Drew Brees and Fitzgerald absolutely both deserve first ballot for sure.
Love it. Well, Roger Craig, the senior of the class, finally gets in a part of those dominant Raiders team. Sorry, Raiders 49ers teams throughout the 80s and 90s. Bounced around the league a little bit after that, but obviously mostly known for his time with the I keep on saying Raiders. God, the 49ers. Um, all I can say for this guy is that I've had him in Madden Ultimate Team. Dude's good. Dude could catch the ball out of the backfield. Can carry the ball well. He's the kind of back I actually really like, those utility backs who can kind of get into space, do some good stuff. So shout out, good for him, man. Kind of crazy. It's like a whole bunch of like more recent guys who got in. Like, are they just kind of giving up on the old timers? They're like, yeah, if you're not in yet, do we really need you? Type of
Yeah,
mentality.
as big of a football fan as I am, it's not super common that I actually know all 5 people that got in. A lot of it, it'll be some guy from like the 60s or 70s who I'm not super
Yeah,
familiar with. But about Roger Craig, I'll say that I think history is more kind to him now because his skill set is so valuable in today's NFL. He's
yeah,
like, people say in the NBA, Rasheed Wallace was 20 years too early because he was the 3-point shooting big man, and could say the same about Roger Craig, the receiving running back before
yeah.
that was really a common thing.
He did it. He had 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving in 1 year, same season. Probably first guy to do that, I imagine.
Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, I'm not sure if he's the first. He might be,
No, he
but
is because
I
only
remember.
only two
Oh
other
yeah,
guys have matched it: Marshall Falk and Christian McCaffrey.
beast. Yeah, yeah. I remember when McCaffrey did it. They mentioned Roger Craig all the time during like his run that 1 year. So shout outs to Roger Craig. Definitely deserves it. Better late than never.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I am obviously happy to see Larry Fitzgerald get in as well. Everyone loves Larry. Like, if you don't like Larry Fitzgerald, there might be something wrong with you as a football fan.
Yeah, and we can't talk about Larry Fitzgerald without the obligatory mention that he does have more career tackles than drops.
It's
One of the
amazing. It's
greatest stats of all time.
one of the most amazing stats for a wide receiver ever. Also speaks to the terrible quarterbacks he has played with throughout his career. One player who didn't play with bad quarterbacks. Yeah, that makes sense. Luke Kuechly, 7-time All Pro. The reason I chose to talk about this guy is he will always be in the same class as Bobby Wagner and Lamonte David, just an absolute monster linebacker class to come out in that 2012 range. Um, Dude, I feel like Lamonte gets way overshadowed by him, and maybe rightfully so, and that's why I'm a little bitter at him sometimes. But the dude he's a tackling machine. Like, he had like 205 tackles according to the Panthers his rookie year. Goes on to have 175 the next year. Gets to the Pro Bowl for the rest of his career till he chooses to hang it up. Basically didn't want to get a bunch of concussions. Did himself a nice 8 seasons. Got in, kicked some ass. Didn't quite win a Super Bowl, but I don't know if that's fully on him. Might be another guy's fault. Got over 1,000 tackles. He had some interceptions. I think he did his thing. But
Yeah,
yeah, shout out Luke Kuechly,
he
absolute
didn't
stud.
always play with bad quarterbacks, but he definitely made other quarterbacks look bad a lot.
Sure
Um,
did.
I mean, to me, he's the best linebacker of the 2010s. And unfortunately, if you're your boy Levante David, the NFL media can only pay so much attention to the NFC South. So,
True.
he's getting all the attention. You're right. They're not going to give that much to Levante, even though he definitely deserves it too.
And it wasn't like Levante was winning during that time period either, so it's not exactly a level playing field. But yeah, him, Bobby Wagner, Lamonte David, what a class. What a class, Cooper. Poor Lamonte getting outshined by both of his classmates. It's a little sad. But anyway, me and Cooper wanted to bring to you, Sports by Confident fans, our own list of who we think should be in the next Hall of Fame class. Maybe starting off with a couple guys who maybe should have snuck in on this class. Cooper, your boy, Bill Belichick himself, the multiple time Super Bowl champion, has led his Patriots to many, many glorious occasions. Obviously, doesn't get in as a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Nope.
Does it tarnish the Hall of Fame? Does it tarnish everything that this egregiousness has happened? Yeah.
Yes, and I hope that this list proves that you and I should be in charge and not these stupid Poindexter idiots that barred the greatest coach of all time from the most obvious first ballot Hall of Fame selection probably you'll ever get in your lives. I mean, the ego on these people to think that they have a right to prevent Bill Belichick from getting to the Hall of Fame the second he's eligible, it's ludicrous to me. But I will say one silver lining is that Bill Belichick's PR has not been great lately. We're all aware of that, the North Carolina stuff and the girlfriend stuff.
What? I hadn't heard
And
that, Cooper.
and this Hall of Fame situation, I think, kind of brought good PR back to him because of all the support he got.
True.
LeBron came out and supported him. Patrick Mahomes supported him. Literally everybody in sports came out and was like, "What the fuck are we doing here?" This
Yeah,
is Bill Belichick we're talking about. So I appreciated that from a lot of the big name athletes in today's world that they had his back.
for sure. Well, 6 Super Bowls isn't enough is apparently a quote from Bill Belichick during this whole thing. What does the guy got to do? All valid questions, Bill. All valid questions. But nonetheless, Bill, you will not be a first round Hall of Famer. You're gonna have to probably go in next year like Keekly and like your boy Adam Vinatieri.
Yeah, it's
So
sad, man. No one loves football as much as Bill Belichick does. Nope,
it's
he's an
crazy.
encyclopedia of the history of the league.
It's highway robbery. It's tragic. It's very sad. But we got to move on, dude. But he should be in the next. He's the first on my list for
Well,
needs
we're
to
one
be
for
in.
one. We each have Bill Belichick, so that's a good start.
Checks out. This is one you may or may not have, Cooper. I got L.C. Greenwood.
Wow, what a
This
pull.
is an old timer. This is from back when the steel curtain was a steel curtain. What is he, a 4-time Super Bowl champion? Four-time Super Bowl champion. This is the type of shit I like to see. This is the type of guy who gets out there, gets tons of sacks. He retired with 58 sacks, I believe. Yeah, 58 sacks. Pretty cool. 11 sacks in one season. He's the type of guy who sets the bar for how the Steelers play defense, dude. He was around in the 90s and early 2000s. Is that right? No, he was a finalist in those times to try to get
Yeah,
in.
he played in the
So
'70s.
he's been around, man. He's been waiting to get in. He's good at what he did. This is back in the day when they weren't throwing the ball that much, Cooper. Okay, and he still had 78 sacks.
Yeah,
He was probably stopping the run so much. He was just out there piling runs and such. He's on my list, dude. He has a sweet name, LC Greenwood. The
that is a
dude's
good
dead.
name.
Let's honor him by getting him into the Hall of Fame next year.
I love that. I love the classic pull. I didn't have him on my five, but
There we
I mean,
go.
I
We already differing. The next one you may have on there, Reggie Wayne. Wasn't aware the boy wasn't in there yet. I think he's recently eligible though. I don't think it's a multiple time offense. Um, just classic dude. Back in the day with Peyton Manning, just always finding him deep. Ends his career with 1,400 yards. No, 14,000 yards, pardon me. 82 touchdowns. Like I said, was a deep threat always did his thing, had a lot of 1,000-yard season, had one 1,500-yard season. This is Mr. Reggie Wayne is on my list as well, Cooper.
Yep. And we're gonna be splitting hairs a lot here because Reggie Wayne obviously deserves it. He's not on my list. He didn't make my final five, but I mean, Reggie Wayne absolutely deserves a Hall of Fame spot. We as a society took Reggie Wayne for granted, honestly. I feel like
Yeah.
he gets overlooked just because he had Peyton Manning his whole career and because he was number two behind Marvin to start out his career a little bit. But as a Patriots fan, that man, it gave me nightmares. He caught everything that went his way.
Yeah, there
Um,
was a while there whenever he was first coming into that, like, it was him and Marvin both cooking for a while, so that was scary.
Yeah, and there was that era, like in the early 2010s, late 2000s, where Moss, To, Marvin, all those guys started to get old, and then Julio and AB, who we'll talk about later, they haven't shown up yet. And I mean, the big number one, big dog receivers were Reggie Wayne, Larry Fitz, Calvin Johnson, Wes Welker, Brandon Marshall. He really carried that transition era in the 2010s, which that's when we were younger,
You're
in
not wrong, yeah.
middle school, high school, watching football. So I have a lot of good memories. Well, I guess bad memories, but I have a lot of memories of watching Reggie Wayne, kick some ass. So nothing but respect for him for sure. Also, he was a
Absolutely.
Patriot for one preseason, but he didn't make the team.
Do you want to go into your do you want to go into your list a little bit before we continue with mine?
Why don't we go through yours? I see the tabs at the top. So I don't have either of the two that you have, so it'll be an interesting conversation to round it out.
Yeah, Willie Anderson, I just feel like linemen just don't get enough love. This dude's older, he's been around a couple times, didn't get in. Plus, he was a Bengal. He was a Bengal his whole life, dude. Like, brutal. All right, well, he played one season with Baltimore, but he was a Bengal like his whole career. Like, just stuck it out there with Mr. Brown and that whole Bengal organization. Lost a couple Super Bowls. I think like two, maybe it was less than two. But either way, he was there with your boy Ken Anderson, who everyone else is still mad that didn't get into. Who do you think was protecting him? I guess it is this guy. Am I wrong about that? That'd be hilarious if I am. But the point is, I love that he stuck with Cincinnati for so long, and that the old line doesn't get enough love. Cooper, get the big man in there. He was around 13 years.
Yeah, he was actually my last cut, and that was solely because I just didn't watch enough of his career to really know to really have a solid argument for him against the other people on my list.
That's
But
fair.
he was my final cut. Um, Big O line guy. I played O line back in the day. I used to block people. It's not a very forgiving position.
No,
I was pretty good, but the girls had no idea because they weren't watching me. It's
no, they didn't care, dude. It's so sad. They make a lot of sacrifices. Those old linemen. I'm
yeah,
in
like
my
you're in hell for the entire fucking summer. You get one night a week where you get to play in front of all your friends. No one even really knows what you're doing. But
yeah,
you got to respect the O lineman. I love seeing an O lineman get recognition.
100%. That's how I feel like when I was playing like semi-pro football. No one wanted to play O line, so I always got respect if you like would suck it up and go play O line and be good at it. Big respect for that. All right, my last one is Terrell Suggs.
T
Gonna
Sizzle.
throw T Sizzle himself, dude. I wasn't sure about having this guy be my in there, but then I read he holds the record for tackles for loss. 202 is an NFL record. So that's pretty freaking sick. Not always the most sacks, although he did have 139. I'm just saying he did like lead all time sack list, but certainly knew how to put pressure. What I loved about him at those early, he was just a part of those early Ravens teams. Like he kind of came around towards the end of Lewis's career, and I just feel like him and Lewis were just so mean together, and it was always just like, damn, this Baltimore defense, like they understand defense. They're just nasty, bad tempered. Like, look at his picture. He just looks mean, dude. Like if you saw Terrell Suggs in a dark alley, like it'd be rough. Well, assuming that you have the football and you're trying to get through there. No offense, Mr. Suggs. But yeah, I'm just saying, man, this guy was cool to watch. Always a bad attitude. Always like the maybe the bullies can stop Tom Brady this year was always kind of my hope. So I enjoyed watching him throughout his 17-year career. It's crazy how long he played. And then did he go out to like the Cardinals for a hot minute?
Yeah, and he won.
Or
He won a Super Bowl on the Chiefs too.
yeah, did he? That's so crazy.
Look
Good
at
for
that,
him.
2019. Yeah, I don't think he really played at all in the Super Bowl, but he did win a ring. I remember that.
Well, he had
But
six
yeah,
sacks
Suggs,
altogether that year, so
Suggs
he
was
went
a
out with a
dog.
bang. Suggs was a dog, dude. I'm happy to have him on my 2026 Hall of Fame list.
Yeah, definitely. I would say I think he gets a little overshadowed by Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. Being the two, you know, legends of that defense. But
Sure.
Suggs, great pass rusher. I
You
would
need a
say
pass rush to be successful.
I would say not quite yet for Suggs for me, but definitely deserves it. It's easy to forget how long his career was too.
Yeah,
I
17
think
years is crazy.
I think for me he had a lot of quiet years and a couple really 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 good years where a lot of these Hall of Famers they have more elite years stretched out more evenly. But I mean Suggs was DPOY I think in like 2011 or something. I'd have to fact check that. And the thing about Suggs, I mean, Suggs and Ray Lewis were like the reason I wanted to be a linebacker when I was 12. I
Yeah.
love those guys, and then I hated them because they had all this beef with Tom Brady, which I thought they were kind of right about at the time, but I had to stick with Tom Brady, where they were like, "He's a man; he can be hit just like us," and I was like, "That's kind of true." I mean,
Yeah.
but at the same time, got to protect Tom.
Yeah, for sure. Gotta protect Tom.
So they're trying to uphold the old guard of what the NFL is supposed to be, and really embody the spirit of old school physical football. Those Ravens Steelers games back in the day were pure cinema.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were some good times. All right. Well, Coop, that does it for my list. We're eager to hear what you got going on. Who did you bring in for your five-person list?
All right, so we agreed on Bill Belichick. Um, I'm gonna ask you a question. Did you look up who is eligible next year?
Um, no, I didn't quite check into that. I more want to see who was already on the list waiting and who hadn't gotten in.
Okay, well I referenced next year's list too, so that's where there's a couple things that aren't gonna align fully. But the first name I want to talk about, who is not on my list, but we got to talk about him. He
Honorable mention.
played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He played for the Patriots. He technically played for the Raiders. Mr.
Keep
Big
Talib.
Chest, Mr. Frozen Foot, the CEO of CTE, Antonio Brown, is eligible next year.
Oh hell yeah.
What do we do
Um,
about that?
definitely don't put him in as a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No,
You
definitely
cannot
not.
have somebody who makes such a mockery of the NFL in there as a first balloter. But that's
If they
hilarious.
didn't give it to Belichick, nobody should get it, first off. But
He'll,
second off,
he'll get
I
in there
mean,
eventually.
AB to me was the best receiver of the 2010s. But
The
at the
dude
end
was
of the
amazing.
day,
If he wouldn't have ended the like a psychopath, he would have been, probably one of the greatest ever.
he disrespected the Shield. You can't disrespect the Shield.
You can't disrespect the Shield, dude. You absolutely
Yeah.
can't. No, no, yeah, I can't support anybody disrespecting the Shield.
And also, he did like 35 other things, but also he disrespected the Shield.
You can't disrespect the Shield. Is really one of the most egregious of all his crimes was disrespecting the Shield.
Yeah. I can forgive
Crazy.
throwing rocks at trucks and all the other horrible shit he did, but no, I'm just kidding. But he really sealed his fate with the whole getting undressed during the game thing, which my buddy was had a great view for, by the way. I was super jealous of him.
Oh, did
You
he
know,
was at that game? That's hilarious.
yeah, yeah.
The game where Grayson became a star, or at
Yeah,
least
Cyril
for one
Grayson.
game. C.O. Grayson for one game had himself a day.
Yeah. Man, what a time for Bucks receivers. And now
Imagine
you got
that.
Tez Johnson's
Antonio
in trouble
Brown may or
too.
may
You
not
guys can't
remember
get
it.
your guys out of the doghouse, huh? Tez
Well,
Johnson's in trouble right now.
dude, listen, that's kind of the dog I wanted my wide receivers, dude. Let's go, okay? Like, listen, dude, I'm tired of all these preppy good boys who don't make plays. Okay, Tez, you're gonna be out there getting funky, whatever, dude. Make some plays then. That's all I'm saying. If you're gonna be out there trying to be a savage, play like a savage too.
Hey man, Stephon Diggs made me happy every Sunday this year, so I can't say shit.
Man, we'll take a little trouble. The Bucks have been too good lately. Like everyone's just being too goody two shoes, getting their ass beat. Let's get some assholes around. Tez, get some bad influence in the locker. I'm here for it, dude.
Yeah, well, yeah, I just wanted to start with the AB thing because I
Yeah,
mean
fun times.
he's eligible next year. Can't not talk about it, but I mean the precedent has been set with Terrell Owens and with Bill Belichick. There's no
Oh,
way.
I forgot Terrell Owens is still on the list. Yeah.
He made it, but he didn't get first ballot though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then he chose not to attend the Hall of Fame thing, which pissed off everybody. That was when
Did
Brian
you
Dawkins
really?
got in.
Oh,
I don't
dude.
remember if he ended up actually going or not, but I know
I
he
feel like I've
decided
seen
he
his
wasn't going to
speech, so
go.
maybe he did go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
So I have two names that are going to be first ballot next year. Um, the first of which I don't think anyone's going to argue with this is Rob Gronkowski. He's
that's the first one
eligible.
available next year.
He's eligible next year, and shouldn't even have to vote on this. Should just put him in there already. Start making his bust. I mean, he's the goat tight end. There's not much else to
Too
say about it.
early.
Never too early.
Too
You better get
soon.
in before anybody says the words Travis Kelsey in Canton. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, Kronk's a first ballot. I mean, he's the GOAT's most iconic target. He has 4 rings. He did the Tampa trip with Tom Brady too. 2011's probably the best tight end season ever. I mean, there's maybe an argument to be made for some other ones, but pretty damn good. Only thing that held him back really was injuries. But Gronk's a shoe-in.
All right. Well, I hate to interrupt this, but we did do a little research on your Terrell Owens claims, and in fact, he did not attend the 2018 Canton, Ohio Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So you are right, Cooper. He felt disrespected because of his years of eligibility and not being voted in sooner. So instead, he had his own party over at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. So good for him, man.
Chattanooga.
Decided to do his own thing, and that's just Terrell Owens for you. His whole year, his whole career, he's basically like, go fuck yourself, NFL. Yeah, dude. I guess we can allow Gronk to get in the first one. I don't know, dude. We got guys like Willie waiting though. Willie had to play for San Francisco. Gronk got to go off and win Super Bowls, man. I don't know. Just on suckness factor alone, Willie beats him out.
That's all fine and great. He can take Adrian Peterson's spot on my list if he really wants it. AP is my next guy who's going to be eligible
Oh, I
next
do
year.
love Adrian Peterson though. Oh man, talk about a running back we grew up watching
Amazing downhill runner. I could watch his highlights all day. It's art,
all day.
you know. Um, Fumbled a little too much. That's the only really, you know, it's the only issue with him.
And got
Got a
stuck on a
little bit
terrible
of
team. He couldn't really like carry that offense himself. Like Barry Sanders would still make the Lions like competitive. He just struggled. Like he would get them to the playoffs once or twice, but it was hard. He
he
wasn't
never
enough.
really had good QBs.
And
I
no,
mean,
it went from like what Jackson to Christian Ponder. It was tough times.
yeah, he
And then briefly a young Teddy Bridgewater, and then he got knocked the fuck out, and that was that.
yeah, AP. I mean, to me, his magnum opus was coming off of that ACL injury and then winning the MVP. I
Yeah,
believe he's the last non-QB MVP, right?
yeah. And what I thought was interesting about him was he also came back with like the Washington Redskins and got 1,000 yards again when no one really thought he would do anything. And then he was like on his way out, like he was like on the way out the door. Like the bouncers was like, no, really, dude, you gotta go. He snatches up like another couple 100 yards with the Detroit Lions another time. So it was like I compare it to the two things. Are you going to be a Calvin Johnson in your career where you're just going to retire because you know you can't compete anymore? Or are you going to be a Adrian Peterson and kind of hang around and probably do some cool shit at the end of your career, even though you're maybe not as fiery as you were younger when you were younger?
Yeah, Peterson really turned into one of those guys who But I'll say this, which I think is great for his legacy for me. If you ever play Immaculate Grid, Peterson's a great Immaculate Grid guy. If you ever are out of guesses for something and you can't think of a good pull, Peterson's played for like 8 different teams, and most of it was over the course of the last 3-ish years of his career. Cardinals, Redskins, like you said. He had a brief Titans stint. That man was everywhere. So he made a big name for himself, obviously in Minnesota, but great waiver wire guy in fantasy too during his twilight years because he wasn't good enough
Yeah.
really to fully roster. But there's a couple of weeks where AP got me a touchdown or two, and
Oh yeah.
I mean I think most people would say that it's either him or LaDainian Tomlinson for the best running back since the new millennium.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. Those two, and yeah, as far as like running backs we got to watch, for sure. All right, who else you got then? Is that it?
So that's three: Belichick, Peterson, and Gronkowski.
Hmm.
So here are my non-first ballot guys. These guys are from the same pool that you were pulling from, and we did not have the same guys in either of them. Number one, I think it's criminal that this guy's waited this long. I think someone needs to pay. I don't know who,
Yeah, or
not
how much?
how much, or I don't know, but how the fuck is Torrey Holt not in the Hall of Fame yet?
I thought you might pick that. I saw him as one of the options too. Part
How
of
the
the
fuck
greatest
is
show on
Torrey Holt
turf.
not in the Hall of Fame yet?
Part of the greatest show on turf. They don't got respect for the greatest show on turf. Cooper, is that what we're understanding here?
He's an iconic player. He has a
Iconic.
ring. He had, I think, 7 or 8 straight years where he was just a really, really good receiver, putting up great numbers. He really he was one of the defining receivers of the 2000s. I think Moss overshadows him and Marvin Harrison overshadows him a little bit, but Torrey Holt was amazing. Great player in NFL Street V too, by the way. That should come into play for
That's
the Hall
true.
of
I
Fame
forgot he was in that
conversations.
game. Absolutely. No, it should be absolutely mentioned in the Hall of Fame conversation because he was very good in that.
Dude,
Yeah, no,
people talk about like Julian Edelman for the Hall of Fame, and I'm like, this is not even a conversation worth having in my own brain with myself until Torrey Holt gets in. You know,
that's fair. There's a lot of receivers. Isn't Tim Brown still waiting, or did he finally get in?
Tim Brown, I believe, is in. Let me double check.
I'll check that out while you go us into your last one.
Okay. So my last one, this was a tough three-way choice for me. Uh, One was Willie Anderson, who I didn't go with, but I'm glad that you mentioned him. He deserves to get some recognition here. The second one, who this was really tough for me to not give him the nod, was Rodney Harrison. Rodney Harrison sits with Willie Anderson as, my last elimination. The number 5 spot for me is going to Fred Taylor of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New England
Oh,
Patriots. I did go with the Patriots, even
oh,
though I
and
didn't
he
choose
had a
Rodney
good little
Harrison.
career with the Patriots. Did he snatch up like a ring or two on his way out with the Patriots?
Nah, he only played for us in '09. That was Brady's post ACL year, but I like Fred
Uh,
Taylor. He was a good guy to have.
yeah, yeah. I distinctly remember him being on the team for only having been there one season. They were always like plug and play running backs over at the Patriots. It was like some guy who could get you like a couple yards when you really needed it, but definitely not at the center of the offense.
Yeah, and Fred Taylor's best years were definitely behind him, but
Yeah.
I think the youth of today's generation has forgotten about some of those decent Jaguars teams that Fred Taylor was at the forefront of.
Well, they might remember like Maurice Jones-Drew, and that really
Yeah,
requires them like digging deep into their brains. Or they definitely don't remember Fred Taylor. Hell, I barely remember Fred Taylor, but yeah, the good callback. That's a good.
Fred
That's an
Taylor.
excellent choice. And by the way, Tim Brown did in fact make the Hall of Fame class of 2015, so he's been in there for a while. I don't know why I
Who
thought he
did?
was out. Tim Brown.
Tim Brown. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought he did too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's definitely been in there.
But I mean he comes from Fred Taylor comes from the era of the workhorse back, the last era of the workhorse back, I guess. And I mean, he was one of the dogs for a while, and up until he got drafted in '98, and he was second team All Pro in 2007. So his prime lasted a really long time for a guy that was really used as a bell cow, and I think that gets really slept on.
Yeah.
And those jerseys look so nice too. I think wearing
So,
those
so yeah,
turquoise jerseys, that should give them some extra credit too in my book.
100%. We'll give him extra credit for that as well. That's our list, people. That's who we think should be in. As Cooper mentioned, we should probably be in charge of this kind of stuff and not the whoever is now.
Nope.
We would have already
Yep.
had Bill in there, so shame on them for not having Bill and also LC Greenwood. My man
LC
needs
Greenwood.
LC Greenwood needs to get in there, man. All right,
One for
let's
the
stop.
unks.
Let's stop
Yeah.
messing around. We need to get one of the we need to get the old timers in there. All right, Cooper. Do you have any final parting words for these fine folks of Sports by Compion?
Um. No.
I think we
I'm
covered it
thinking
all.
about the Patriots again, and I just don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, that's all right.
I love
Shane,
all of you, and I can't wait to see you again, Patriots or Compian Nation.
we love having you on, Cooper. Sports by Compion. We're out.